Welcome to the Bookworm Bindery with Cathy-Lynn. This is part 3 of the Let's Chat About My Business while I create some books. So thanks for coming back if you're back. If you're new to this, welcome. There are 2 other about half-hour videos that kind of start this chat and this book making process from the beginning. It is not a tutorial. I'm just working as I'm chatting. This can be a really monotonous set of things to do. I mean, it's my job. I like it. But I thought, well, what if I just chatted through it? That might be good. So in this third one, what we're starting with is the journal cover that was put together in the first one and covered in the second one. And now what I'm going to be doing is putting the inside papers in the front and the back. And I can't get the lighting to show you the color of this. It is maroon. It is somewhere, it's a little lighter, obviously, than the brown background of this. It's the same color as in the dark of these rose-colored flowers. And it has a sheen to it, as you can see here, which is problematic when you're filming. And so I tried turning off the lights, and then there wasn't enough light to see clarity. You could see, it's not that I was in the dark. So I did move the video, I expanded it out so you could see more. And right now what I'm doing is I'm marking the back side of the paper that I'm going to be covering the inside covers with. And, oh, it's 11:30. There you go. Okay, sorry about that. And now what I need to do is cut this. So I have a feeling you can't see this. It's just a weird angle, but my first pencil mark for the height of my inner cover papers is here. And I have an excess piece I'm going to toss to the side. And then the second mark is down here, and this is for the first piece. And then I'm just laying this edge along the cutting line, making sure that it's straight up here, and cutting this piece off. So while in the video, to my eye, this does not go. It really does. And I just could not get the lighting to play nice. This particular lighting setup has, it's dimmable. You can dim it, you can make it bright, but you can also adjust the color of the LED light bulbs, and that helps me usually get a really good color. And not today. And I think part of that is because this is glossy and it's just causing some issues. So now these need to be glued on. And here's the paper that are going inside. This is, this one is not an art paper. This is going to be a 24-pound paper. The standard weight for copy paper is 20. This is a little heavier. It has a really nice weight to it. You don't see through the back side if you're writing, unless you're writing with like a felt tip pen that can bleed through, but a standard pen doesn't come through that. So that's kind of nice. Before I glue this, you can't really see it. Maybe you can. Yeah, I can right here. So this is printed onto a white piece of paper, and the edges are showing white. So I need to ink them, but not with purple. And I think I'll just go with brown. I could use black, but the brown is on top. And I'm literally just going to drag it along the edge versus, say, using a brush or a dauber of some sort. I don't really need it. I'm not looking to age necessarily this paper. I just want to make sure that that white edge doesn't shine once it's been glued on. And because it's going on a fairly dark background, that white will show up. So this is one of those little steps that majority of the time nobody will ever notice. But you would notice right off the bat if you didn't do a good job. Okay. So, are you working on projects right now? I am working on this series of books I'm trying to get done by the end of the month. I have a self-imposed quota of 10, and then I think to myself, ooh, if I could get 12 done, that would be great. Now, just so you know, I'm not doing 10 or 12 from scratch in the next 7 days. That's not what's happening here. I have books that have gotten all the way to this glued stage and are waiting now to have the holes punched into the spine and the pages sewn in, the different signatures put in. And I have some that are, that I am starting from scratch. I think this one here makes 8 that are ready to have the papers put in. So that's where I'm at. And over the next 7 days, I'm not doing a video for every 7 days, all of the 7 days. But over the next 7 days before my self-imposed deadline, I would like to get 10 to 12 of these finished. I also have a custom journal that I'm getting ready to start for a client. She is a school teacher, and she just has all kinds of fun notes and artwork from her students and parents and grandparents, and she finds them to be very, very important to her. And she said, I now want to put them in a book, not just in a box or a bag or a file folder. And so we haven't found the fabric to cover yet. So that should happen this week. We may have to pop over to Michael's and see if they have anything that's very appropriate for a middle school teacher. And she loves dogs. I'm like, I have this great dog print. And she's like, oh, I like it. She goes, but I was thinking of something more schoolish. And I'm like, I have a lot of florals. So we are going to have to go shopping for some fabric. And then if we don't find something that catches her fancy, then we'll come back and I can always custom something. I can use a piece of fairly lightweight, not lightweight, light colored, fairly light colored, plain paper, and I can stencil alphabets and letters. Well, alphabets and letters are the same thing, numbers, that sort of thing. Okay. I guess I don't really need to write the inventory number on it yet. Sometimes I do that before I glue it, but as this one has not been assigned an inventory number yet, and I'm not covering it up, I don't have to worry about it. Okay. So that's going to be a fun project, I think. So unlike junk journals that have to be all decorated out, she has brought me things, nice comments and cute pictures that have been given to her. And so some of them will be pages, some of them will go, be glued to the pages. And then I will put a bunch of pockets so that she has a place to store things as they come in this next year. School will start up here in August. And as she collects them, she won't necessarily have time to just slip it right into the book. So if the book has pockets front and back and in the middle as well and along the page, on the pages, then she'll be able to tuck these precious things in. And then when she does have 20 minutes at home or some such, you know, she'll be able to pull it out and glue them in. Some of them she may choose to leave tucked because they have writing on the back, and she's not going to want them glued down, so she'll need a pocket or an envelope to store them in. So that's the kind of thing I'm going to be doing with the next journal that I'm making. Okay, there we go. So I usually put just a little extra pressure right on these corners where the fabric has all been folded in. It's a little bulky. I want to make sure that this gets glued nicely. So Fabrifix is a fabric glue, and it glues fabric really well, and you can glue to all kinds of surfaces. Oh no, I have a little bit of smudge of glue in the middle. And on this glossy paper, it has a tendency to show. Okay, take that off. And then, let's see if we can wipe it down. Let's get a wet wipe and see if we can kind of get it cleaned off. Yeah. I have used this before on this type of paper. I just did want to show you. Look, it didn't take off any ink. Okay. You know what? I have not used this for much. I'm going to tuck it back in here. Okay. So now this particular cover has its fabric, has its spine reinforcement, has its papers. So let's put some pockets in this. I am a huge fan of pockets. And I lost my pencil. So we're going to put a pocket front and back. Okay. Okay, slip this in. Sorry if I hit the frame. So the pencil mark is right on the cut line, and the pencil mark is right on the cut line. Okay, are these the same? Yep, that's nice. Now we're going to put thumb notches in. And I'm eyeball measuring it top and bottom to see that this is really close to being in the middle. So that popped these guys out. I'm going to throw those in the trash because I haven't come up with anything to use little half circles like that for. That's one and, oh my goodness, so sorry. I'm actually going to take you to the ground. What did I start to say? Oh, 1.5 inch circle punch. Just in case you're wondering. Okay, so now I'm just inking their sides so that we have some of the same, you know, we don't have that white glare. Good. And then brought out the brush, just hit this. And like I said, I'm not worried about lines on this. It's dark enough that it's not likely to show. So that's not what I'm worried about. Okay, so here's your thing. Now, we're going to take this piece of paper and we're going to turn it into a pocket that goes here, where you can now barely see it because it's the same thing. But here's your tip of the day. Because I need to glue this down in a U shape so that it creates a pocket, I need to hold the edge that I'm not gluing. It helps remind you not to glue all the edges so that you have a not real pocket because you glued it all shut. Or you glued the top and the sides but not the bottom. It's those little things that I feel that if I can help pass on to you in your journey would be good. So I had mentioned in part 1 that this isn't a tutorial, and that if you are looking for a tutorial on how to make books for journaling, whether it's junk journaling or writing poems or, you know, just your everyday life, whatever, I highly recommend going and looking at Nick the Booksmith and Pam the Paper Outpost. They have some older videos that are just really, really good on how to make basic journals. Now, I don't think that Pam the Paper Outpost has made anything in the last year or two for a hardbound fabric covered book. She's got some other things out there for other kind of journals. And I don't know whether Nick has. I actually haven't visited Nick in the last probably 6 months. So I probably ought to rectify that, because she has some amazing information for us. She does some cool projects. Things that I just don't want to get into personally, but I love watching somebody else do them. And then things that I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And so then I'm like, great, I will learn this. Okay. Now, by putting the thumb notch in it, it makes this more visible as pockets. I had a really cool little book that I bought at Barnes & Noble, you know, a blank book, that I had for 10 years. And one day, my mom, who had one, I'd given her one for a Christmas or birthday present, she was like, oh, I just love this little pocket. And I'm like, what pocket? And she goes, here in the back. And she flips it to the back. And I was like, does mine have a pocket? Literally, I did not recognize that there was a pocket. And on this one, it was a small journal, blank book. And there was like, so say it was this tall. There was a pocket coming in from here but I couldn't see it. And it wasn't until I went back and pulled it out and looked at it that I realized that, yes, there actually is a pocket there, but I couldn't see it. So inking the edges is something that we do a lot of that will help you see that there's a pocket in your journal. I guess I want my pencil for this. And yeah, some thumb notches are very helpful to me as well. Okay, so what I'm doing here is moving stuff out of the way so you can see. I have a big work table. It's a dining table with the leaf pulled out, which is like here. So I have this great big deep table. It's wonderful. And every once in a while, it's not enough room. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to center this between the lines so that, and then run it along this line straight. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for the center of this spine so that I can mark for holes. And I'm going to punch the holes with the Crocodile Big Bite. It makes a 1/8 inch hole, which is bigger than I need, but it does make sewing easy. And I do have the set of tools that you can punch to make your holes. I don't own a cradle that I could put this in to put holes in that way for papers or spines. But I like this. It's easy. It saves my hands. It works. And this was an idea that I got from Pam at the Paper Outpost, and it's a fantastic idea. Okay. What I need to do is bring this back down to where the numbers are, because I want to put this on the half inch marks, and that way I can put my shorter ruler on the number at the bottom and then the line coming up here, and know that the line that I'm going to trace will be in the center. That's what I need to do first. And it's a measurement by eye. Get the feeling that didn't actually work. It did. So, you know, it's not too bad. And if I am off a little bit, and it happens. Then I look at it, and when I make the next mark coming up this way, then I'll make like the X off to the one side or the other. If I have indeed gotten this crooked, but this is pretty straight. Okay, now from here, I need to go from this half, so here, this halfway mark, I need to go from between the seam of the spine. From here to here, I need to go halfway. So again, I'm going to center, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to center this line. Let me bring it up because I'm not sure you can see it. There you can. That line is going to be put on the quarter mark. Is that where I want it? Yes. I'm going to put it on the quarter mark, making sure that this is straight along this bottom edge. Okay. So now I have this on the quarter mark down below, which means that when I put my ruler on the actual inch and its line up here, it will be here and ready to be punched for that mark. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm moving this to the quarter mark on the other side. I'm going to put my ruler on the number down here and this line up here. So I've talked about the shop that I consign in. I've talked a little bit about my studio shop, although obviously I haven't talked too much about that. I mean, I don't know if it's obvious. I shouldn't say obvious, but I haven't. Okay, now I want to move down here an inch. So it's an inch off of the top. And now I'm going to make marks. Well, that doesn't want to show up. Maybe I need a dark piece of here. Not so much either. Okay, but that's fine. I'll be able to see it. And then I'm going to do the same down here. So I'm put an inch line at the end. I don't think. Oh. Gotta love double-ended pens. Back to the white one. So I do have a dance studio. And so I do have a little table. Okay, you're here. Yeah. Really? That's interesting. This side over here comes really close to the seam. There's that. There's this. Crosses that white line. Well, maybe I can just make that strong enough that it makes sense. Now I'm going to come into the middle. So at 9 inches, that would be at 4.5. So I have a mark here, I have a mark here, I have a mark here. And because I don't have to pay a commission, because I own the studio, I mean, I pay rent, but the rent for the studio is paid out of the dance, you know, tuitions and sales and stuff like that. So, my books are priced for the commission that's going to come out of, okay, this is probably going to bounce the camera, so sorry. The commission, you know, the amount of money I pay for my shelves at the consignment shop, and quite honestly, it's really close to the same as what I would pay at a craft fair. That's worked in to the books. So when I sell out of my studio, I sell out of my studio at a percentage. So if you buy a book at the studio, then it's going to be 15% off. And okay. There's those two, or those three, that section of holes. Whoa, don't get crazy there. Okay. Turn it around. Finding these holes and seeing this thing coming down is not as easy as it looks. Pam at the paper outpost makes it look really easy. I'm like, oh, I could do that. And I'm like, oh, this is harder than it looks. Okay, there we go. Okay, I can't really move that away because I'm going to need it for the paper. Okay, so you can't really see the holes on the outside, but they're quite easy to sew through. Now we're going to look at signatures. So like I said, this is a 24-pound paper. And a large book takes a regular sized piece of paper. But as you can see, they're going to go this way. So lined paper doesn't work because lined paper is usually set up in a portrait versus a landscape layout. So when I do want lined paper, I usually print it myself. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So usually my signatures have 12 pages in them. And I just got that from Pam and Nick. That's what the first couple of videos that I saw, that's what they counted out. And it fits nicely and it looks good. And so I do that for regular books. I do less for junk journals. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's the second signature. One of the reasons why I have 7 books that are complete except they don't have paper in them is because I was out of paper and I had to make a run to the office supply store. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So besides 24-pound printing paper, copy paper, whatever, the other paper that I really love to use is my favorite, but I don't always want the color, is manila. Manila paper with that kind of lovely subtle texture and that kind of vanilla ice cream custard coloration to it that's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it up and I'm going to fold it in half. Make sure that it's straight. Fold it out. Let me move this out of the way. Find my bone folder and crease that. Crease this from both sides. One of the things that I find with heavier paper, like this is, than say 20-pound copy paper, is that you really have to do a good job on both sides to get clean fold. It's fairly tight. Okay. So manila folder or manila paper comes in regular sheet size papers like these before they're folded. And then it comes in a size that's twice that. And it's cheaper when you buy the bigger pieces. So I just take and cut them in half so that they become standard paper size. And then I follow the same process. This particular paper, or I'm sorry, this particular fabric that I covered the book with has white elements, white flowers, nothing in the creams, nothing in the print, and the coloration of it suggests that it would be good to go with the manila paper. And I think that's true of a lot of papers. So, I mean, a lot of books. So let me just kind of have you look at this real quick. So the white in these flowers, the white that's the highlight in some of these flowers, if those were more of a yellow, then I might consider putting the manila paper in here instead of white. But it just seems to me that white is my best option. So I am not going to get this all sewn in on this video today. So we are going to be putting in, I am going to be putting in a part 4 showing the final steps of this. And, you know, depending on how the first 2 or 3, this is the third one, on the first couple, we'll say the first couple, how well those go and how much click-through I get if you go on to the others. You know, I can put out a few more of just Cathy babbling while she's working on books, if you're interested in watching that. If you're interested in seeing a tutorial from me on how, sorry, let me move this down, on how to do this specifically, let me know. Let me know if you have a better solution, something that works better for you than what I've got here. I am more than willing to learn from others' mistakes as well as my own. And I think finding the methods that just are easy for us makes our crafting better. Okay, I'm going to come into this thread and see if there's anything in here that's dark enough in the browns. If not, then I think I'll probably just use black. I use more black and white than I use other colors, but no, I don't think so. It's not red enough. But I do like having this package. So the first package that I ordered got used up. Well, it didn't. Some of it got used up, and I had to order. What's this? Oh, this might do. It is brown. It's not as chocolate as this. Nope, I'm going to go with black. And now it won't all fit back in. So I've used up most of, and so you can see that I have like this ivory is low. Some of these other gold colors are getting low. And instead of buying great big ones on specialty colors like that, I just bought a smaller packet. And then I have, bigger spools of the, I'll just bring it around, bigger spools of the white and the black, because I do use them a lot. Don't want to lose those. I really don't want to lose those. Okay, so what I need to do next is I need to punch the holes in this, and then I need to sew the signatures in the book. That's what's going to happen in part 4. So if you have found this one to be interesting, please hit the like button or the thumbs up. And if you haven't signed up already and you're interested, go ahead and sign up to subscribe for this, and make sure you hit the bell notification so that you get notified of mine and other creators who do similar things to get content onto your recommended page. So thanks for sticking around, and I will release another one tomorrow. So thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoy the time that you're spending with your papers.